Are you moving to Alabama because you want to be close to the water or just because of its southern charm? Well, if either of those sound good to you, then stick around because we're going to talk about some of the best things that you absolutely must know about Fairhope, Alabama.
We're really going to dive into some of these things that make Fairhope so unique and how it sets itself apart from the rest.
We'll talk about my favorite little neighborhoods too. So if you're looking to move to Fairhope, then you're going to want to hear what we have to say, especially towards the end.
Uh-oh. What do you have planned?
Yeah, you're gonna love this one. It's a scream, baby. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back.
I guess we'll have to wait and see, but first let's get started with the list of different things that you really need to know about. So let's start with how Fairhope has been named one of the best places to raise a family year after year, time and time again. This city offers such a wholesome living experience that any parent can appreciate. I know that we do. I'm so thankful to call Fairhope home.
Yeah, it's no surprise that critics from magazines and newspapers, TV shows, you name it, recognize Fairhope as being a great place to live because we have so much going on, from our quaint downtown area to golf courses, schools, community events, everyone driving around in their golf carts.
And the retirees all just enjoying strolls on the pier. It's so heartwarming to see.
Yeah, we do that too, but we're not retired, and you can see people fishing off that pier or feeding the geese on the beach. I'm telling you, it's just super quaint.
It really is something special. If you haven't experienced it, you'll need to. But one thing I have to mention is the area, like how it's just so big yet so small.
Now, I know that's an oxymoron, but what I think Jess is trying to say is that it has a downtown area packed with restaurants and bars and boutiques and specialty stores like tea or soap shops. There's a marina for your boat, all that good stuff. Yet it also has acres and acres of land and farm life where you can live in a rural setting with no neighbors super close by, but you also have a huge subdivision where you have neighbors right next to you, like a Chicago neighborhood, for example.
They're close, but I wouldn't go that far. But there's honestly no place like Fairhope, and that's what makes it so special. But yeah, so you can also find neighborhoods where you have larger lots where you do have some privacy. So it really depends on what you're looking for exactly and how much you're looking to spend. And with all that said, let's talk about some of our favorite neighborhoods. So first I have to mention Old Battles Village because we were just there this past weekend. This is a very family and community oriented neighborhood. They just held their annual chili cook-off along with a cornhole tournament, and all the neighbors were socializing and having a good time.
Not to mention, this was all in good fun. There was no sponsors, no reason, just because. I had to get in on the fun too, so I had to join that cornhole tournament, but we fell short. But I did get to try every chili there was, so I was a happy guy. There was this brisket chili I tried, and it was by far the best tasting chili I've ever had. Who does that? Brisket and chili are two mixtures I never thought about, but man, are they good. And on top of that, I met some really good people, including some Marines, so just, you know, talking about life and having a good time. But honestly, y'all, that's just another day in Fairhope, and that's what I love most about living here is the culture and the friendly people we meet around every corner.
Yeah, we even ran into the mayor there getting her chili tasting on, and that was just really nice to see. It just gives you all those small town feels that just tug on all of your heartstrings.
Now, these homes in Old Battle Village are newer, and you can tell the neighborhood was just built because it looks like a brand new subdivision. Like, the trees aren't mature yet, and you can see, you know, construction going on still.
And they have a really nice tennis court area, a clubhouse with a pool. They've got basketball courts, fishing ponds, and some really great neighbors with a bunch of kids that run around the streets, which is so nice.
It sounds like Jess wants to move again.
Not quite. I think we still have another 2.5 years based on our track record.
Nope, not this time. I swear to you, this will be my last house. Well, maybe my second to last house.
Always lying to me. Why? You lying so much.
Why? All I know is I'm not moving for a very long time, but that brings me to one of my favorite spots, and that's Rock Creek.
Tony will name every neighborhood with a golf course, so get ready to hear all about them.
I knew it!
Not true, but staying on top, Jessica. This neighborhood is big, about 400 homes within it, and they range in price from about 300,000 all the way up to over $1 million. And this is the best part about the neighborhood. Not the golf course, but that it's so unique. Every home, even the layout of the homes, the trees around the homes, and yes, the golf course is unique too.
I knew it.
It really is though. You don't see dog legs like this at every course you go to, and you get to the second hole and you're like, holy crap, what is this? It's one of the many, many reasons why this is one of my favorite subdivisions.
I can't argue about this. The fact that this neighborhood has so many beautiful mature trees everywhere you go. In fact, it feels like every home here takes like so much pride in their landscaping. You're gonna see palm trees, vibrant azaleas, hydrangeas, all these beautiful flowers that complement these homes. It seems like every single house is professionally landscaped and belongs in a magazine. I can literally spend an hour driving around this neighborhood just checking out all the different styles of homes, and they've been updating their clubhouse, and their pool is really nice too.
See, I'm telling y'all, I'm not making this stuff up.
Now this is a golf course, so yes, you're gonna see some retirees here, but you'll also see a lot of younger families. But don't be surprised if several of your neighbors are all retirees.
And rightfully so. This was named one of the best places to retire in America, on top of the best place to raise a family. This place truly is beautiful, and this is coming from someone who has been to quite a few different places around the country, the world for that matter, and I can't describe another place as charming as Fairhope.
Yeah, I remember our first time in Fairhope like it was yesterday. I was so taken back by all of the flower displays, the charming collection of restaurants and boutiques, and the undeniable old-fashioned small-town southern feel. There's one thing that I'm always looking for in small towns, and that's the artisanal shop. So something about handmade soaps and candles or curated home decor is something I can never ever pass up. And the gorgeous park and the pier overlooking Mobile Bay, literally the most gorgeous, breathtaking sunset I've ever seen in my entire life. I remember telling Tony, like, we need to be here, and one day we're gonna live here permanently.
And here we are.
I love this town!
But we wouldn't have done that without Fairhope having some of the best schools. We have school-age kids and a baby due in a few short weeks, so education is high on our list of important things to consider when choosing a place to put down our roots, and Fairhope schools come highly rated on greatschools.org and US News. But I'm not only basing it on these critics, I'm telling you firsthand. We've lived it with both of our children, and they've loved their experiences at their school and with their teachers.
They've both told us at different times, mind you, that they feel like their schools are a home away from home. And that's so reassuring to hear as a mother, because not all kids can say that.
Yeah, and the same goes with the kids' sports teams. Sadie and Tony Jr., both of our kids are in golf and bowling and baseball and football and wrestling and social clubs. And no matter where they go, they can't wait to go back.
Yeah, and they also go to youth group, and let me tell you, this is by far their absolute favorite. They love their church family, and that's something that we've never experienced in any of the other places that we've lived. Tony recently said to Tony Jr. while he was being a little stinker, he said, do you remember this? He said, if you don't behave, I'm not taking you to youth group. And Tony Jr. stopped dead in his tracks, and he was like, you wouldn't do that, Dad. No, I know you wouldn't do that. So I had to cover my face and look away because it was so sweet and so funny at the same time, but it was also like so endearing to hear my kids say that.
No, it really was hilarious too. I was like, wow, I have some leverage again. But see, that was just a wholesome moment for me as being dad. Not being able to go to church is a punishment for my son. I don't know. Living in Fairhope just hits different.
Fairhope was also ranked number 2 for best young professionals, and this is something I agree with if you have a desire to really work.
What do you mean by that?
So for example, you're not gonna see huge companies or large corporations in Fairhope, but what you will see is a lot of local mom and pop shops, a lot of entrepreneurs who have these independently owned businesses, whether it's a cleaning company, a nursery, a butcher, a barbershop, restaurants. There's so many to name.
A marketing company, a landscape company, the landscape company who hangs up your Christmas lights in the winter when they're not busy. I mean, you name it.
Yeah, if you can't tell, we're naming actual businesses in town, and that's just what I mean. You can't just go to any huge factory in town. I'd say the closest to that would be Thomas Hospital or any of the doctor's offices in town, but for the most part, everything's independent.
or leaving town, but then we wouldn't be giving you the Fairhope rundown. So speaking of leaving town, I have to tell you the traffic here is getting noticeably heavier, and the locals aren't afraid to tell you how unhappy it makes them feel.
Well, this town's population has grown tremendously over the last 5 to 10 years, like literally doubled. So there's a lot more commotion on the roads.
Yeah, Highway 98 has been dubbed the Airport Boulevard of the Eastern Shore. And if you're not familiar with Airport Boulevard in Mobile, you'll have to check out one of our other videos.
Well, they can't check it out now, so let me give you the rundown. Highway 98 is where you're gonna find all of your stores, your restaurants, that Thomas Hospital that we just mentioned, doctor's offices, grocery stores, entrances to subdivisions, literally everything. And obviously everyone wants to live here, so you can only imagine how much traffic there is at any given time. But if you're coming from a big metro city, not to worry, this is the lightest heavy traffic I've ever lived in.
Now I know we already touched on neighborhoods, but one of my absolute favorite things about Fairhope is how they celebrate holidays. From Christmas to Mardi Gras to the 4th of July. It's something out of a movie.
Yeah, and don't forget about Halloween. We just celebrated Halloween, so this one is fresh. So let me tell you, if you're anything like us, I would say we always celebrated Halloween almost as soon as we got home from school. As soon as our kids got off the school bus, they were throwing their costumes on and they were trick-or-treating, and they were always done, you know, right as it was getting dark. But here trick-or-treaters don't start until it's actually dark, like pitch black dark, the sun comes down, that's when you're gonna start seeing kids out.
I remember our first Halloween here, and we thought our block was dead. We were like, this is it. We're driving around and didn't see one kid in sight, and then boom, they all came out of the woodworks, and it doesn't stop for hours on end when it's pitch black out.
Yeah, for a minute there I was like, what are we gonna do with all this candy about? We were not getting any trick-or-treaters, and then all of a sudden like hundreds of them started coming. So that plus Mardi Gras parades and all of the Christmas festivities is something you can only experience here. We've lived in places where they have some pretty nice displays, like really nice, but that's exactly what they felt like. They just felt like displays. I swear it feels like magic here. You know in the movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas, when Whoville comes together and they all sing and hold hands and they celebrate? That's Fairhope. The entire sense of community and the holiday spirit is something you just don't see anywhere else.
So if you'd like to come here and experience everything we talked about, make sure you give us a call to help you with your move.
And please make sure you like our video so others can see what we're talking about. And if you want to see other videos like this, then hit that subscribe button, and we'll see y'all later.
See ya.